know what they talking about. I'm on live now. We live. It's Big Del K. Burton. It's live. It's a real spiel. And it's the holiday edition. It's the holiday edition. Oh yeah, y'all come on in here. This episode is brought to you today by no other than the Trinidadian champagne of beers, Carib beer. It's not a beer. It's a Carib. Hey, yeah, man, I'm sitting here about to have my lunch. I know how much y'all hate that. That's why I do it. Because you're not the boss of me. But we're about to have a quick conversation. So my guys who threw down and made the lasagna, fantastic. 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 Corporate chefs, they're fantastic. But we're about to have a conversation today. Good to hear and see everybody. Now, I boil, in Trinidad they call it plantain. Y'all call it plantain. I don't know why. I boil a little plantain with the lasagna. Woof. Let me show you what it look like for those foodies. Hey, Shando. Come on, Yvonne Gentles. Yep. So, I want to talk to you about them new kids and to all of our members. Batgirl on the back end said I got to do more member content. That's coming up. Member content coming up. Members only content coming up today or tomorrow. But later on today is my new friend Clarence Jones, the lawyer for Martin Luther King, a speechwriter. Come tonight, 7 o'clock. Listen to that tonight. And, if you're worried about the fact that this beer has 5% alcohol, don't worry about alcohol, but worry about Al Katani, the gentleman who's got the spices. He's got the spices. Go on my community page, check out his spices, support him. He's been supporting the movement. Also, to Adonai Skincare. Come on, it's skincare. If your skin is dry, touch on Adonai. Yay. And don't forget, don't write it down. Jot it down. JotItDown.com. Come on, man. So, let's talk about these new children. These new children. I spoke the other day at a live. I had to go. I'm sorry. That live was getting hot, too. About Romeo and his relationship with his father. We're going to touch that again. Right? I last drunk a... I just drank... Oh, what kind of beer do you drink, Jemin Judah? Because I don't drink beer. I drink Carib. Trinidadian beer. It's not a beer unless it's a Carib. That's our saying in Trinidad regarding Carib. But like I was saying, I was having a conversation about Romeo and his father. We're going to touch that today. But we're going to start off at the top of the news with Sam Bankman-Fried, or Fried, however you want to say it, being released on a $250 million bail. None of us in our black community can talk about bail no more. I've never seen anything like that. They extradited him from the Bahamas, where he funneled all his money to his parents. We're going to talk about that too. Lots of money he gave to his parents. Properties. He said the company is bankrupt. Okay? Company's bankrupt. The crypto billion-dollar company, bankrupt. He called it bankrupt. He said his net worth is only $1. Hello, Mama G. And they extradited him and released him on a $250 million bail. I've never heard of anything like that. You got to get the message, Coach Ron. You got to get the message. Got to get the message when it's hot, right? And people got to understand that sometimes, and we're going to have a special episode. Sometimes you got to get some tips from the Trini chef. Y'all didn't know I could throw down here. Pass the sniff test. Doesn't pass the sniff test to me either. $250 million bail. Where the heck? Let me do this. Let's bring Michael Jordan Let's bring LeBron James and let's bring Steph Curry. We know all those guys are, top of the food chain when it comes to basketball in our community. How long would it take those three guys to raise $250 million cash bail? This kid posted a $250 million bail. Now the bail clearly probably came from his parents, right? So this guy at 30 years old builds a billion-dollar empire, crypto empire. We hear the facts now. He's funneling money out of the crypto empire, FTX, funneling it over to Alameda Research, which is the hedge fund. The hedge fund is using the money that is supposed to be in crypto only and making, puts and bets and doing all the things it's doing with the crypto money, and then declaring that the crypto is kaput, right? Parents and friends. Yeah. He's been funneling money to people all over the place. Folks have pled guilty to cooperate with the doggone FBI. This is the greatest abscondment of money in modern history. Nothing has been like this. Nothing. This young man at 30 years old, he's making the headlines every day. The reason we don't talk about it is because all black people talk about is each other. We don't realize that the biggest heist, the greatest money transfer in recent time has taken place. Grand larceny on an epic level has taken place. This dude shows up to court and posts $250 million. He's broke. Where did he get the money from is what I'm saying. Where did he get the money from? The Jewish community underestimated this point. When I was having my big conversations trying to drag the ADL, right, which is quietly sat down and says nothing right now, right? Jewish businessmen through my little channels were saying, this is exactly the sentence I got. What if, somebody, some big Jewish guy loses money and all this anger that's at the Jewish community now, it could turn really ugly for us. I'm like, and I said to her, what a very strange sentence, as somebody would say. This is in November. I said, what a very strange sentence for some, why would they say that out of nowhere? And then she said it again. Speaking about it with a friend who was into crypto, never jive FTX. I invested hundreds. Yeah, okay. And I said, what a strange question. Why would they ask you that? And then she said it again. And I was like, this is wild. This guy's done more than Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff to this dude, it doesn't compare. Because it's not a Ponzi scheme, right? It's a shell game. I'll explain in a minute. So the entire Jewish ecosphere, the economics of Jewishness all over the world, knew about this. They knew what was happening. Hands were being shaken from the midterm elections in America to Israel, the tech biz. Everybody knew this was happening. His parents, when the first scrutiny came out, said, "Oh, we'll probably go bankrupt just defending him. We'll probably go." I'm like, okay, I don't know why it's on you. He's a 30-year-old man. He's a billionaire. Why would you go bankrupt? Now it's all making sense. These are called exculpatory statements for those who study law. An exculpatory statement, you can look it up, is basically an attestation of guilt that flies out of your mouth. Police officer pulls you over. I don't know who's dead in the trunk. I don't know whose dead body that is in the trunk, officer. I was pulling you over for running a stop sign. Oh, Everybody in their fear shot this theory out that wasn't even a theory yet, knowing what was going on. This kid, and I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, there is much more than we know. I'll tell you how. Big time American politicians, people's money is now gone. People's money is sitting in real estate. The best way to steal money, you want to be an embezzler? Let me show you how it's done. Let me show you how the Canadian economy, I'm going to get to Little Romeo in a minute. I'm going to show you how the Canadian economy does this and does this. Foreign embezzlement of money. When foreigners embezzle money, where do they come? One of the first places they come is Canada. Of course, we've gone to the Caymans, and they used to go to Switzerland, but most of it they come to Canada. Now Sam Bankman, he went to the Bahamas. This is what happens. They come. I'll talk about how it's all computerized in a minute, but they send the money here to their children, who they send to come here on as international students, right? International students, the government lets them in, the schools let them in, they pay a premium to get in here and to get in schools. An international student, he pays more money for tuition than a domestic student. The parents send him over here, and what do they have to do? They got to find a place for little Sing Pong Wing to live, right? And so they send him over here, they buy a house. They make him the landlord of the house, right? And they keep funneling their money, their stolen money, into real estate. Because how are you going to liquidate real estate and give it back? If it's in a bank account, it can be seized. If it's in property, it can't. I thought Canada was on the up. I'll tell you why it's not. When I heard about it, though, it was a joke, especially when I saw images about him and read stories about how people thought he was brilliant. He was a front man. He was a front man, and he didn't do this by himself. He was a front man for his parents and international fraudsters all over the place. This reads all the way back to Netanyahu. I'm telling you right now. Well, the law also says this case was blatant fraud and greed, and they always knew this, aka ISPA liquidator, the thing that speaks for itself. My mother's from the Bahamas. A lot of foreigners wash their money there. Exactly. I worked at college. All facts. Some of them didn't even go to class. They didn't even go to school. They come here. How is a 17, 18-year-old kid, okay? He's here living in a multi-million-dollar house, right, near his university, renting it out to all of his friends. He's driving a Tesla. And even the parents say, yo, go get a job. Go get a little stupid job. So he even goes and gets a job just to not make it look too bad. But he's rich. And he's rich because parents are funneling international money to him. Right? The crypto actual money, you're think about crypto, you're using actual money to buy crypto. So I've invented a coin. Call it the Dell KB coin. Right? I create a stock exchange for my coin. Call it the Dell FX exchange. And I start marketing my coin. I'm telling you that my coin is going to compete with other things. I go to Carib and say, Carib, will you accept DKB coin to buy beer? Sure, we'll accept it. Now my coin actually has tangible value. I go to Tesla or Elon Musk. I say, will you accept my coin to buy Tesla? Sure. If you let me invest in your coin, absolutely. So they are creating currency. Once the currency is created, you send real money to receive what? A crypto wallet. So what do I do with your real money? I transfer it over to my hedge fund and I begin to use it for investment. For me, you bought what you paid. You took what you bought, what you bought. You bought a coin that could go up in value or down in value. You've invested in a very volatile security with real money. I've taken your real money and I've invested it, moved it over to my hedge fund, and I'm investing it in real commodities, real stocks, real estate. I'm buying stuff, I'm putting money in my pocket. That's how it works. Okay? And so this scheme, the scheme of people creating concepts of crypto, which no black people should ever invest in. None of us. I'll tell you why in a minute. After this bite. The number one rule of investing is what is the underlying commodity. I know I look stupid. I know I act a fool. But I know stuff. Just little stuff. You're investing in a stock. What's the underlying commodity? What's it backed by? Same thing when you invest in currencies. The American dollar, is it backed by gold? No. What is it backed by? It's backed by the American military machine. Some would say it's backed by the American economy, but it's not. It's backed by the fact that America could walk into your country and take all your resources and control your stuff. Right? It's backed. That's what the Russian currency is backed by too. It's backed by the ruble. Doesn't need to be expensive. That's a whole nother conversation. But American money is backed by the American machine, their machine of war. That's what makes it, that's Rome. What makes a Roman denarius powerful? Not that it's made of silver, it's made of gold. It's backed by Rome. And if Rome says it's good, it's good. That's what America is. America's new Rome. Same eagle, same people, same system. Thing look like it's frozen. Hold on. Gonna end up like this. Del K coin. I love it. I love the Del K coin. So basically, this kid is in a position, or was in a position, to create currency. He was making up currency, and they were marketing him as this wonder child. His real genius is his capacity to fraud out a lot of smart people who really thought this guy was actually investing, doing things with his actual so-called coin. That's his real genius. His fraudulence is his genius, not his investing capacity. That's his real genius. Yeah, American dollar is backed by loans. It's not. Your American dollar is backed by your American military. The American military force disappears, so does your economic power. You don't have any resources. You know, you might have a little gold left down there in Houston somewhere, but you don't have any real resources. Your greatest resource is American might. It's the greatest resource in America. We got more oil than you up in Canada, and we don't know what to do with it. We send all our crude oil to the Saudis for them to refine it and then sell it back to us for more money. Because all these guys are bandits. Everybody's a bandit. Okay? So anyway, he got bailed out by his parents. Right? Because, of course, his parents are the ones behind this. Parents are the professors. They're the geniuses. They're the real brains behind this whole thing. It's his parents. Right? Now, Nigeria is a whole different story. Nigeria's got everything. Everything. Nigeria's like Congo, except it's run a little better. Right? Nigeria's got everything. It's got oil. It's got gold. It's got everything. Nigeria's a whole different conversation. Nigeria's a much wealthier country than America. Much. Nigeria should be the America of Africa. Whole different conversation. So we still have these new kids, right? This guy who gets bailed out by his parents. His parents are still pretending like they're university professors, a front. When you're a university professor and your kid is making billions of... Listen, black people retire when their kid gets drafted in the second round in the NBA. That mama retired. Oh, my baby made the NBA. She retires. You're telling me this kid got $26 billion and these people are still operating as professors in university and still acting like they need to take that check? Their son is making more money a day than they're making in a year. Come on. Those folks were the front people. They've told them how to do it. Huh? African human resources. Oh, African human resources. African human resources are being squandered to this very second. I'll tell you that story in a minute. But anyway, so you move over to Little Romeo. And Little Romeo, you know, again, part of this new generation, declares he's broke. Little Romeo, how you broke? How you broke, Little Romeo? You know, are we moving there yet? You don't? Yeah, Venezuela has oil. Trinidad has oil, right? We've had oil forever. We got unlimited oil. That's why we rich. We rich. We rich. In Trinidad, we rich. We rich. We are rich. Okay? Not me specifically. But by de facto, I'm a rich Trini. As a Trinidadian, as a rich man. Because we got oil, baby. My grandfather worked for Texaco, the Texaco Oil Company, right? He would go off on the rigs there, and do his thing. Them rig thing ain't what you think though, because you can't. That rig work didn't work out for my grandfather because he went out there on the rig. When he was out there on the rig, out there in the sea, his boy was home trying to scoop up his lady. That's a whole nother conversation. I got an aunt right now that ain't granddaddy's daughter. That with that that's a whole conversation. But yeah, Trinity has oil for days. Okay, and so a lot of these countries, Africa and all these countries, they're rich, but they don't know what to do with their resources, and including their human resources. Right, the human resources of the African has been the most squandered thing in the world. Even if, watch this crazy sentence, if you eliminate West African slavery and begin in the 20th century, Black so-called African resources, the human resources of our people, still has been squandered. Still. They talk about in Africa how they have a brain drain, how the brightest, the most intelligent leave Africa and never come back. If just in the 20th century to today, the brilliance of Black people went back to Africa and Africa actually built infrastructures for them, we wouldn't have to worry about nothing over here. Guyana, I don't know if Guyana has oil, you know. Guyana, I don't know if all you have oil. I don't know if all you have oil. I don't think all you have oil. All you have goat curry, but I don't know if you. It might have oil. Guyana might have oil too. I'm just playing with y'all. You might have oil too. I'm not sure. You know, the Syrians and East Indian, 1% of the population, but now 99% of the wealth. In Trinidad, no. The East Indians are not 1% of the population, Mariel. They are 50% of the population, not 1%. They are 50%. The Indians, the Syrians, we stopped them from being able to buy land. They were buying up all of Trinidad. Cut that out. When the Syrians came to Trinidad, they came buying everything and they came with HIV. So that was a problem in Trinidad. Yes, they came with HIV. If any Syrian want to fight me, they can fight me for that. We had a great police officer there. They used to call him Elephant Walking. Right? It was him and my uncle were the two baddest men in Trinidad, police officers. Elephant Walking is what they used to call him. When Elephant Walking would arrest you back in the day, this is the 60s now, he wouldn't take you to the station. He'd say, hey, go report yourself to the station. And anyhow, I don't see you there. It's trouble, you know. That man could arrest you and tell you to go to the station and turn yourself in. He wouldn't have to arrest you. Elephant Walking. And he, messing with some Syrians, he caught HIV. That's my dad telling me that story. He caught HIV. So the Syrian population tried to buy out Trinidad. And they bought HIV because they owned all the stores in Port of Spain. Yeah. They came in there buying up the place, and Trinidad was stupid at first. They were like, "Oh, hey, go ahead." Then they realized, wait a minute, this place is about this small. Can't let these people buy up the whole island. And then Trinidad put in their constitution that Every Trinidadian, it's the right of every Trinidadian to own land. It is their right. We have the greatest constitution on the planet. Okay? That means that if I'm homeless in Trinidad and there's land here that's undeveloped, I can claim it for mine, I can build a house on it, and the government won't tear my house down. Now, what people did, though, is that rich people came in and said, oh, really? And they tried to build houses in the country and things like that. But the government would check into it and realize, hey, you're not one of them, you have money, and they come try to tear down your house. Excuse me. But the Trinidadian Constitution says it is the right of every Trinidadian to own land in Trinidad. Every Trinidadian has the right to own a piece of the country. That's a great constitution. The Syrians have 90% of the wealth. No, they don't. They don't have 90% of the wealth. No, that's not true. They don't have 90% of the wealth. They are wealthy, but they don't have 90% of the wealth at all. We're too smart for that. We would never let that happen. Ever hear a thing called eminent domain? Anything you take, we can take back. Okay? Anything you take, I can take back. If I am the government and you have too much land, what will I say? Eminent domain, I'm taking it back. That's it. So we got smart with them. They were smarter than us at first, but we got smart with them. They don't own 90% of the wealth. They don't have it. Trinidad is a very balanced, I would say, ecosphere, but the Indians are doing very, very well. The Indians, they're doing very, 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 very well. And boy, you have to fight every year to see who wins. But we're Trinidad. We're all Trinidadians. We gotta get out of that whole thing. You're stuck on that little island. Here's a Trini, and that's it. The Anthony Bourdain interview. Yes, I did. I did see it. I liked his interview. When he was talking about bus up shot. That's for another thing. Trinidad's issue is crime. That's the real issue. The real issue is crime. And their crime. You grew up in Trinidad? Mariel, I didn't know that. But the real issue is crime. To me, and when I go back to Trinidad, Trinidad is the only country in the world. Oh, you're born in Martinique. It's the only country in the world I don't feel safe in. My own country. That's the only country in the world. Trinidad, because in Trinidad, I know this is not what we're talking about initially, but in Trinidad, us Trinidadians, we will kidnap you. We will kidnap our own family. I was in Trinidad, and a woman married to an army officer. She felt he wasn't giving her enough money. And she arranged, apparently, for some police officers, who she might have been having an affair with, to abduct her husband. So on the way to the grocery store, these masked guys come in and abduct her husband. And then send her, of course, a ransom note for money. Now, the man kept his money separate from his wife. And so she was like, this man is very greedy with his money. So due to the ransom, he had to let her know via note or call how to access the money to get him out. And so he gives now his wife, not knowing she is the actual culprit, the information to pay the ransom. She pays the ransom and they let him go. That's the good thing about Trinidad. We will abduct you, but we will bring you back. We'll kidnap you, but we'll bring you back. Of course, you have money. We'll kidnap you next year too. We are the only island that does this. We don't have, they will abduct, they will see me like, hey, boy, you're doing good, man. I see your new car. Yes, your lady looking good. She buying new clothes. I see you buy a big house over there. No, all right. You good? All right. I'll come see you later. Later, you have 4 men come to kidnap your backside because this woman look at you and say, "Hey, he doing too well." Our island is something else. That's the only country. I have boys there when I was going frequently, barbers and everything. When them guys used to, "Hey boy, that's a nice watch you have." When they boy come to a party with me and I would be like, you know what? Nah, I'm okay. Because when those guys get too frequent with you, it's your stuff they want. Anyway, that's my beloved Trinidad. The GDP per capita in Trinidad is around 17K. All right, which in US dollars, if that's US money, that's big money. Listen, Trinidad is probably one of the third wealthiest economies per capita in the Western Hemisphere. We do better than Mexico. There's US, there's Canada, and there's Trinidad. That little tiny island. Because of our gold. Because of our oil. We do very well. Most Trinidadians don't leave Trinidad like the Jamaicans, everybody want to leave. They don't leave. The affluent in Trinidad stay in Trinidad. They're happy. They're good. They're happy. They're good. The students, the young people might leave, but the affluent, Trinidad airport is empty unless it's carnival time. It's empty. We don't care about tourists. Don't go to Trinidad expecting hospitality from us. We don't care. The only time we care is carnival time. Otherwise, we don't care. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care about tourism. We don't live on tourism. We own our own stuff. We have our own place. Our president looks like us. Our prime minister looks like us. We run our country. Black people and Indians run the country. So that's why I wasn't impressed with Barack Obama. I was like, it took you guys long enough, boy. We've been having Stokely Carmichael. Come on, we've been having big people come out of Trinidad for a long time. You know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Trini. All these people are Trini. So, yeah, we know how to run our place. Not that I endorse or claim Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at all. I don't claim him. I don't claim him at all. Anyway, you got me off track. I'm talking about these new children. These new children used to listen, back in Trinidad, they get licks. Listen, hey, anyhow, Romeo would have got on and started talking like crazy like that. Two things would have happened at 30 years old. Two things would have happened. If his uncles were still young enough to whip his backside, they would have hailed him up. Hey, I see you talking crazy to your father and thing. That ain't good, you know. That ain't good. I don't like it. I raise you up. I remember I used to take you and you used to climb mango tree and thing. You fall out the mango tree, I put bandage on your foot, and I see you talking crazy to your father. I don't like it, you know. That's my little brother you're talking about, you know. They would whip him. He would get, if the uncles didn't catch him, the other boys would catch him. And they say, hey, boy, what going on, boy? You're talking about a father like this? You're mad or what? You're stripping or what? What's wrong with you? Listen, I'll box in your mouth. Don't ever listen, anyhow you get back on social media, this year, I'll box in you. They'd come for him. My sons, right, who not even raised in Trinidad. I have 3, right? And I have 1 who's out of pocket. The middle son said, Dad, anyhow I see him, I'm going to knock him out. I'm like, this is easy. And he goes, no, I don't like how he's talking. I don't like he's talking to you. I don't like what he's saying about you, blah, 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 blah. No. Anyhow, and you raise your kids. I raise my kids old-fashioned. I'm an old-fashioned dad. And I think Master P is too. Master P gave his kids a heck of a better head start than I financially gave mine. Mine got an educational head start that Master P could never have given Romeo. But they still were financially all right. And I'm saying like this. I think Master P need to go talk. I don't know how many other sons he got, but he might need to go talk to his uncle, because Romeo needs to be draped up. He needs to be told, hey, you're going too far. You're going too far. My cousins, this goes from uncles to sons. If my cousins saw people disrespecting me, they would stop. They'd be like, hey, I saw your son, man. I didn't like that, bro. They'd call me. What do you want me to do? You want me to grab him? You want me to snatch him? Because I'm not dealing with that. And I would do the same. You can't talk crazy to our generation. These new kids, I don't know. When I heard, I didn't hear Romeo first. I heard Master P. And when the Master P started to talk, I said, oh, he's dealing with the same stuff. Percy's about my age, right? He don't look it because I look a hell of a lot younger than Percy. I don't know how you got all that money and don't look young. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. You know, he got 9 children. Ungratefulness is dangerous, Rasta. It's a dangerous thing. 9 children, that's all. That's all. That's not a lot of children. That's not a lot of children. Listen, these days, listen, we have seed, man. Black man have seed, 9, 10, 20 children, not a big deal. If you can take care of them, and he sure can, have 9. I took care of all of mine. You sick today, Mariel? You don't celebrate Christmas. I understand. I'm sorry. Amazon helped me with my buying stress. I know a lot of you guys don't celebrate Christmas, but this is my question, quick question for all of you. You don't celebrate Christmas, but you go to people's house and you eat the food though. Huh? If they offer you some punch and rum, you're drinking it. If they offer you a piece of oxtail, you're not turning the plate down. All right, you might not wear the hat and the shirt, but you're eating the food. Don't try that with me. I hope you feel better. But listen, going back to Sam Bankman, just jumping back to Sam. This is the thing about systemic racism and misappropriation. Okay, stop years ago. Poor thing. I love Christmas. I didn't forget my thought. I never forget my thought. Sometimes I do. Sometimes. But this is the thing about Christmas is my favorite holiday. I love it. My mother, we grew up really poor, right? But my mom, man, she'd make Christmas amazing. She had trees that danced. She would decorate the house. You know them old black women. Move the furniture around, right? She could cook everything. My mother would cook from scratch, making cake from scratch where she'd churn up the sugar and the butter and you just waiting. I'm sitting there like a dog waiting for that bowl to just for her to throw that out that bowl so I could just lick off that sugar and butter in the bowl. Whoo! She'd have sauce. You know about sauce? Oh, you know what sauce is? Sauce is pickled pig's feet. So we would pickle the pig, the foot of the pig, with cucumber and pepper. Oh gosh, you'd have callaloo. My mother would have black cake, sweet bread, fresh bread. Okay, and she found a way to buy us gifts. Okay, let me show you something. Okay, I go and I buy these every year. I have one little grandson, and I have a nephew who's small for this. But this is what my mother created in me, and I love these things. I still love them. Every time I see one, I have to buy it. Watch this. All right, I have to buy it. Every time I see one of all my mom had to buy me was action figure. Oh, when I was a little boy, I had Steve Austin, I had Spider-Man. Listen, I just buy them and I prop them up in here, right? I don't open them, right? Oh gosh, the eggnog, Mariel, and the rum and the punch of cream. Punch of cream is basically eggnog. It's like Bailey's for those who don't know. Listen, I would just I just have these. So like when I have like my little grandson or nephew come around, I just throw it in my Christmas bag. And my kids, for years, I said, Santa Claus is a 6'7" black man. He's black. He's really black. He is black. The guy who actually is Santa Claus, the guy from Constantinople, St. Nicholas, who slapped Arius in his face, was a rich man who became a priest. And he wanted to give away his wealth. And what he did was he started basically on Christmas time, he would give gifts to the children. That's where it came from. It came from a rich Santa Claus. You look it up. He's the Bishop of Constantinople. His name is Nicholas. He essentially is Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a black man. I told my kids the whole life. So I had no issue. When I learned about my history, boy, I ran with the thing. But anyway, my Iron Man and thing, come on, man. So my mom used to make Christmas so amazing. And then when I got a little education, I was anti-Christmas. I went through a whole period of time anti-Christmas, Jeremiah and the decoration of the tree. And I'm like, Mom, that's not in the Bible. And da-da-da-da. My lady kept putting her Christmas together. She had black Santas, she had black elves, she had black fairies. Her house was a Christmas wonderland. I was like, Mom, we gotta stop this Christmas thing. This is I went through the whole process of that situation. I did it just like you guys. I did it. I went through the whole process of that, right? My bigger kids, they got gifts, but I didn't have a tree. No trees, no Christmas trees. Didn't do no Christmas trees. Went over to my mother's house though. No Christmas trees in my house. Went to mom's. Mom's had the tree. We gave them the gifts and everything there, but no trees in my house. Then, when I got my last little daughter, her mom started putting together a little tree about this big. Every year the tree would grow, right? Because I'd be like, "No, I don't really do the tree thing. Well, I'm just gonna decorate the side of the house," and then it just kept, pop, 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 pop. It just kept growing. But the Christmas food, that was steady, boy. I was steady. I always had the Christmas food, and I always gave my kids gifts. So when people talk about the Christmas thing, I completely understand. I was there. I went there. You know, thing about old men, when you get old and stuff, you just let things happen. But when you got grandkids and you got kids, you can teach them this true story. But the holiday, the fantasies, the winter wonderland, and all those kind of things. Yes, I've allowed myself to become an old man, and my grandkids and my little kids, you know, right? That's what parents do. Which is why, when you're talking about these kids, when you're talking about these new parents, right? It bothers me. It upsets me to see that these kids have been handed such great, especially when I'm talking about Romeo. They've been handed such great capacity to be great. And now they take that platform and they turn that platform around and they want to ridicule the hand that gave them the platform. Now, if Master P's tight with money, because if he's not giving his kid enough money, right? If he's misappropriated monies from the past, there comes a time where a man, even like a boy like that's got to say, you know what? My dad did what he did. I still have a brand. I still have a name. I'm going to go out and figure out my own situation. He's still much better off than a lot of 30-year-old kids. And I don't think Master P is doing that to him. But if he is, if I take everything Little Romeo's saying as gospel, Little Romeo, you got to go out there and do your own thing now, bro. You're a grown man now. I believe he has kids too. You got to go do your own thing. If it's got to be the hard way, even if you got to go work a job, go work a job. Go work a job. I'm telling you, I'm sure when you make phone calls, your phone calls will be answered quicker than mine. I'm sure there's particular places that you can go. 50 Cent's son is out of pocket. 50 Cent's son is completely out of pocket. 50 Cent's son, you know, the way he's dragging his father, like, you know the funniest thing? How do these kids drag these guys that a lot of other people are afraid to even say anything about? It's funny. Yay, Alupai and Bust Up Shot. What? Come on, you're talking to me, Mario. No, that's not Forever Noble. You know what you're saying? Holland blackface stuff. I'm still not celebrating. I didn't tell you to celebrate. I'm just hungry. I like the food. Cow foot sauce. Yeah, they take the pig out of it now. Black cake. Oh my gosh. Remember, oxtail so damn expensive. Yeah, even black pudding. Don't tell them what's in that. So dad gives who? $67 a month? Man, imagine if your baseline was $67 a month. So you could just say, okay, I'm gonna get $67 a month, and then I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna work. I'm gonna go live my life. I'm gonna go figure something out. But you got a baseline of $67 a month. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know, a lot of these kids, it's a shame what they get away with, what we let them get away with. We let them get away with too much. Black put in, boys. I'll put in something else. 50 Cent gives the kids $6,700 a month, and he's complaining that's not enough money. That's why he's out of pocket. Completely out of pocket. I don't care how much money 50 Cent have. You don't deserve $20,000 a month because your father's a billionaire or a millionaire. You know what I'm saying, Ephraim? $6,700 a month and you're complaining? Come on. Do the math. That's $100,000 a year if it's a real salary, less deductions. That's $100,000 salary. And he's not paying any tax on it because 50 Cent has to pay the tax on it. It's support. It's tax-free money. Come on. So I don't understand these kids, man. I don't understand these kids. I grew up, this is what I got. I would get stuff like this. Right? These kids are getting cars for Christmas. You give me something like this, I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom. Oh my gosh. An action figure of a white superhero. We would go crazy for this stuff as little black kids. Remember this? When this is the reinforcement. God bless you, Dylan Turner. Stuff like this is the reinforcement of systematic racism. It's the reinforcement of systemic racism because we're looking at this guy. He's a superhero. I'm more of a superhero than this guy. I'm more of a superhero than this guy. I'm made of titanium. I've never broken a bone in my life. Okay, Wolverine? I've never broken a bone in my life. How old are you, Wolverine? I look pretty good for my age too, Wolverine. Okay? All right? Now I'm not a little short guy. I'm a big fella. I've never broken a doggone bone in my life. And you don't win every fight, Wolverine. I'm undefeated for life. All these things, right? Tony Stark, right? The white genius who creates Iron Man, right? We already got an Iron Man. We got a whole lot of them. Muhammad Ali was an Iron Man. You know, John Jones is an Iron Man. We got a whole lot of Iron Man. Jim Brown was an Iron Man, right? The Man of Steel, even Shaq, when we used to like him, he was an Iron Man. We got a lot of, we don't need a suit for it, Tony Stark. But these are more reinforcements of systemic racism, right? That bleeds into the mind of our youth, and we grow up wanting to be this. These guys are our heroes, right? We don't see anything else. We don't see. I went and found a black doll, right? Hold on a second. Don't go away. Don't go away. Yeah. So this is what I try to do. I try to make sure, you know, I'm giving this to white children. I am. I give this to white children. I send this home. I say, hey, I got you a little doll, little shorty. I got you a doll. Here you go. Yep. I make sure I give white little children black dolls. Yes, I do. Make sure. I got this saved up for a nice little girl, right? Give it to white children. So you have a reinforcement of beauty that comes from us, right? And I go looking for that doll too. Next time I go back, hey, where's your doll? Where's your doll? Oh, good. You got it right there. What's her name? Her name is Kelty. Kelty. I was talking to a friend. Actually, it wasn't a friend of mine. It was my good girlfriend, my girl, back girl on the back end. And she has a girlfriend who has a name that her mother said is an African name, and she's a mixed girl, right? And so the mother wanted to give her an African name. And she named her Kafira, right? Kafira. And I was like, Kafira, where have I heard that name before? I was like, whoa, wait a minute. In South Africa, a kafir means nigger. I said, she named her child after the South African slang for nigger. They called us kafirs, right? And that's what they call us. And so she named her daughter Kafira. So to me, it's always about educating people on stuff. So you got little Kelty here. I'm gonna look up what Kelty means and what languages it means. But I'm gonna give little Kelty to a nice little white child. She's gonna find a home in a nice little white family. Nice little white family. Okay? Ghana called black people that. See? Gandhi called black people that. Yeah. Yeah. And she named her daughter Kafira. Kafira. Ah, my God. So watch this. Systemic racism, right? This is how systemic racism works in reverse. Thought I lost my frame of thought. I didn't. So Sam Bankman, Sam Bankman-Fried, he steals billions of dollars. And what he does is he spreads it around. He gives it to his friends. He gives it to his family members. He gives it to political people, political giants to come help him later. And he basically spreads out this billion-dollar empire to the point that even though he's going to get prosecuted, he has essentially still set up a structure around himself to make sure that he can still get preferential treatment. So a guy like him, for example, he should never get bail. $250 million, chump change. Here you go. The judge writing that knew the number. So I got to make this number big so I don't look bad. How much can you afford? Can we do 250? You can do that? Tell your people I'm going to give them $250 million bail. Make sure you have it ready. And so he walks in there all goofy and all sheepy-eyed. This is terrible. This is egregious, and I'm taking this extremely seriously. I'm willing to release him, but the bail has to be something extreme. I'm willing to take suggestions. How much? 150 million? Yep. How much? 120 million from the defense? You know what I'm going to do? 250 million. Bail. We got it, Your Honor. Boom. That's the setup that's the setup, baby. That was built in. So systemic racism goes to the point, right? And this is what we see with the ADL. He won't go to jail a day, Mariel. He won't go to jail one day because you know where Sam Bankman's going to go right now? Right now, he's going to go to France or some non-extradition country and sit down right there. And that's what's going to happen. He's going to get sick. He's not going to be able to attend. And he's going to try to ask if he can attend remotely through Zoom court. So he doesn't have to show up on the shores of the United States of America. And so when this thing goes left, he's going to say, I think I'm going to stay here in France. He's not going to get extradited. They're not going to be able to extradite him. And that guy's not going to see one day of jail. Not one day of jail. If I got that much money, I'm not going to jail. I don't care if I killed somebody on CNN in Times Square, surrounded by the New York Knicks and everybody else in the arena. I'm not going to jail if I can afford not to go. Not for a second. Shoot, he's lucky you go to court. Plead insanity. Ooh, of course he can leave. On a private jet? He out of there. He is out of there. Nobody's going to check him. That little Jewish boy look like all the other little Jewish boys. He's going to get somebody's passport, and he'll walk out there, as Rabbi Geshenovitz and fly his little behind somewhere else. Come on. He's gone, baby. Doesn't they put an ankle monitor on him? I don't think they're going to do that. And so we're here talking about Romeo and his little feud with his dad, when this little Jewish boy absconded with a country worth of money. He can't go to Israel. They'll send him back. Netanyahu will definitely send him back. You think Israel's going to cost themselves the billions of dollars of aid? Ain't nobody want to live in Israel. Barely any. Listen, and God bless the Dimona folks. A guy who's got money like that, he doesn't want to live in Israel. He doesn't want to live in Israel. He wants to live in Las Vegas. He's 30 years old. He doesn't want to be marooned in Israel. Trust me, Israel is for people going to retire. A billionaire in Israel, what's he going to do with himself? What's he going to do with himself? He pulled a Luke 16:19. Make friends with money. Yes. The money drove me crazy, literally. Yeah, that's what he's going to say. He's going to say, this money got me wild. Money got me crazy. Carol Ellison pled guilty, sentence carry up to 10 years. She pled guilty, but she's going to cooperate, and she won't get 10 minutes. She won't get 10 minutes. Wow. crazy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just here to let you know that this systemic racism thing, it works. If let's say I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal. I'm a dangerous criminal. I'm rich. I got $1 billion. But I know I'm going to jail. I know I'm getting the gas chamber. Right? Can't get around it. I'm going to go to the judge, the governor, the mayor. I'm going to go everywhere I can and say, hey, listen, I know I got to die, but make sure my kids, my grandkids, taken care of. I'm leaving this with my lawyer. If you do everything that you're supposed to do, every month, checks will come. I need this land here. I need it to be ours. Everything. I'm going to set the whole thing up for $1 billion. $1 billion. I'm going to set everything up so that my children forever will never have a problem. That's $1 billion. This brother took off with about $24 billion. He took off with 20 times that much money. And he gave it everywhere. What was his concept is his concept was his level of he has a terminology for his philanthropy. A philanthropy where he says all of his money should be given away. That was his. He says, I believe that I should give away all my money. The guy was setting this thing up because this is what he was doing. Somebody Google that. This philanthropy, the philanthropy of Sam Bankman-Fried, of where it starts with a V. His concept, his worldview, is that he believed in a level of philanthropy which billionaires such as himself should give all their money away. Of course, he's a front man. His job was to take people's money and give it to the people who set him up. That was his entire job. That was his entire destiny. Altruism. His altruism. His something altruism, he called it. Where he believed that his job in life, his destiny in life, was to create wealth and then give it all away. What a setup. And the way this guy was supposed to be a genius, when he started talking afterward, he sounded like such a dummy. And the same way is how Romeo sounds right now. Sounds like a dummy. Right? Romeo, you don't sound right, young man. You don't sound right. And I know, young men have issues with their father. I'm not going to call you a dummy, Romeo. Because I'm sure you have real concerns, you have real problems, I believe they're real. I just think you're doing it the wrong way. I think it's the wrong method to take to deal with that. Right? Doing it the wrong way. You new kids. Anyway, that's my time. My carob is finished. And my lasagna is cold. I ate my plantain. And now I'm preparing tonight to speak to Clarence Jones. Please come back tonight, 7 p.m. Tell somebody, share it. I already put it up there. Come back and have a conversation with me tonight. Okay? Let's talk about this. If you've got a new generation of kids with you, right? You've got a new generation of kids or grandkids with you. It's important to give them the history. History will teach children out of a mindset where they have this level of entitlement. History does it. That's why I used to walk to school. I used to walk up 12 hills with no shoes on a cobblestone road to get to school, 10 miles, one direction, on one slice of bread. That's why they told you those stories. So you'd be like, whoa, sheets. That's harsh. You know what? I've been taking my life for granted. I got 2 pairs of shoes and a bus pack. So history does it. History allows us to reflect and to look at our lives and say, you know what, this ain't that bad. And let me see how to do things better in the future. History allows us to say, you know what? The same game they play with me, you play with somebody else. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right. Let's play the game properly. Let's play the game to win. This is Del K. Barrington. That's an hour. That's what I wanted to do. Live content and actually membership content coming very soon. I have some special stuff for you over the Christmas holidays. We'll talk about it. Okay? 4 miles walking to Petite Valley Roman Catholic School from Dago Martin, boy. You're walking from Dago 4 miles? Don't believe you walk 4 miles. I don't believe you walk 4 miles to school. Jeez. You didn't catch a bus or anything? A maxi taxi, nothing? Gosh, man. All right. All right, everybody. Love, peace, and hair grease. I appreciate all you. I'm a member with a different handle. I am a member with a different handle. Okay. No bus. All right. I love all you. Thank you very much for being here and for being holding on to the real spiel with me. All right. This is your show as much as it's mine. And I appreciate everybody for being here. And I'm going to keep coming with this content. I'm going to keep coming. Everybody walk to school. Girl, you're not old. Come on. You used to catch a maxi. Yeah, a taxi. Little taxi took you to school. 4 miles? Jeez. Well, okay. I accept. But anyway, I gone. And I'll talk to you soon. Love, peace, and hair grease. To those who I might not see again, Merry Christmas. You're 67. You're young. Come on, Mariel. Mariel, you're 67. You would have been going to school you were going to school in the 50s. You might have been walking for real. You really might have walked for real. Whew. 4 miles? Yikes. That's a heck of a walk. Hey, you're a whole different generation. These kids can't walk 4 miles. They can't walk 4 miles. Are you kidding? You tell a kid to walk 4 miles to school right now. The CAS, the Children's Services, would come collect you. We understand that you allow your children to walk. Oh, gosh. The 60s. That's a heck of a walk. Anyways, we love you. Thank you very much, Meryl. I love, and Yvonne and Miss Ann and all the real spiel folks who are holding on there, hanging in there. We got lots to do. My husband did not believe until I drove there from there. I didn't believe you neither. I believe you now. I believe you. That's 4 miles. Woo, gosh. Jeez. I hope you must have been athletic. You must have been built like a brick house walking 4 miles every single day. Jeez, the boys didn't want to fight you. How you fight off all them dogs that you would have seen? Trinidad has the most stray dogs in the world. All right, stray dogs walking up in the whole island like they're just a whole clan by themselves. I mean, the third largest population in Trinidad must be stray dog. He said, "Man, you really walk, boy." All right. Love you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. See you soon. And you never had a problem. Wow. Miss Mary, you made a different stuff. Okay. This is Big Del K. Barrington, the real spiel, from me and from Kelty, somebody's new black friend. Okay. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.